You like it, Emma? Yeah. This is actually Emma's birthday. That's why we have balloons and bows in there. She's super excited. All right, so every kid wants a trampoline, and we were fortunate enough to have this 12-foot trampoline sent to us at no charge for this review. Though the kids want the trampoline, they really don't understand the challenge that is associated with assembling one of the trampolines. So we're going to try to make that really easy for you and go step by step on how to put this trampoline together. So your first step is to lay everything out, make sure that you have all the parts. Step number 2 is to get these legs right here, and on the legs, they are bowed. And so you want to make sure that you get that bow facing the outside, and then you have your top rail right on top of the leg, just like this, and then your top rail is going to go together like this. One is going to fit inside the other, but it's going to be inside the T-post. So you got to be careful when you do this. This is our last one, and they all went together really easy. And it's going to be just like that. Now, on your legs, you do have one section that you need to secure with, this is called your screw B. And you want to make sure that you got your nut on the inside and your washer on the inside, because this has got a square head to it on the inside, and it's going to fit right inside here and secure it so that you can tighten that up as tight as you can get it without bending or damaging your leg. Okay, so the next thing we are doing is securing the poles for the net, and it's going to look like that. And it's really important that you make sure that this is right, because it's going to cup the ring like that. If you don't have it like that, then your space is going to be too great and you're not going to be able to put your nut on the back side. So make sure that you have this on correctly so that it cups the ring just like that. Then you're going to take your washer, it on the back side here. And then for this bottom hole right here, you're going to use this locking nut and bolt as well. Now, your spacer is going to have to go in between your net post and the leg, your washer and your nut again, just like that. You're going to take your net and you're going to lay it out in the center. And then what we did was we took our center fold as our guide and went from pole to pole across, and then we did the same thing on the opposite side. And then we went back and we counted all of our rings and we counted our holes, and so we have 17 in between each one, so we got it laid out perfect. And we're getting ready to put the springs on right now, and we're going to use our spring puller tool. We're going to start at the poles and then go in between all the way around, just skipping holes so that the tension is not too great on one side when we're pulling it to the other. We'll show you what that looks like. This small side is going to go on the net, and then the larger side is going to go to the hole. This is your spring puller tool, and it's going to go just like that. Okay, so the next thing that we did was the spring cover, and on the spring cover you do have the rail wrap, and so you want to make sure that that is covering the rail. And then you've also got a couple of elastic straps right here that you're going to use to tie it to the rail, and then you're also going to have one that's going to tie up here to the ring, and you can see that right here, it's tied to the ring. Okay, so we are doing the top ring of the net, and these are like tent poles, and then you've also got these T connectors. And so inside the top ring here, what you have are holes that allow your tent poles to go through, and then the two tent poles are going to connect on that T connector. Then that T connector is going to slip inside another pole that's going to go right here. So we'll show you how that works here in just a minute. Okay, so our next step was to take the top post, and on the top of it, you've got a little black hole here where your T-post is just going to slip into. So after we get all of these poles connected, then we're going to put it on this top pole here with the button lock. And it's going to take more than one person to do this. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. All of these poles are just going to slip right down on top of that button, and it's just going to be like that. Super easy to do. Again, we did it with 4 people. Only took a second to do it. So make sure you have some people to help you with that. Next thing we're going to do is we got to take the bottom rope and lace it through these holes to secure the net, or to secure the net just like that to the trampoline. Okay, so what we're doing here is just cinching the net to the trampoline itself. And we've actually got 3 people doing it just to make it a whole lot easier. And what we're doing is we're taking one end of the rope and we're going up through a D-ring, and then we're also going right through one of these holes here on the net, and then we're going back through a D-ring and pulling it tight. Just like this. Then I'm finding the next D-ring here, and I'm going back down. Now you can do this any way you want. We're hitting just about we're hitting every D-ring, but you'll notice we're not hitting every hole on the net. Some people will, some people won't. It's up to you. There's quite a bit of rope here, and so we are just making sure that it's down secure. We've not had any trouble in the past with skipping holes like we are. We're just kind of trying to speed the process. This is the longest process of the entire assembly. All right, we got her done, and there is Emma. She loves the trampoline. Now this was really easy to put together. As a matter of fact, it took us about an hour and a half total to get this thing all put together. You can see my daughter over here is putting the little slide together, and we'll take a look at that here in just another minute or two. But there it is. That's a nice 12-foot trampoline, and the net is on there for her safety. She absolutely loves it, and this is great. If you're looking for a nice trampoline, you got 10, 12, 14-foot trampolines here, and the assembly was super easy. Follow the instructions that I gave you, and you will not have any trouble at all.